I may be a bad Mormon, but I'll get on my knees for a burger. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Raphael and I am here to review episode 3 of The Real Housewives Who Suck Dick for Jazz Tickets of Salt Lake City. We start the episode off with Whitney continuing talking about her trauma and how she's slowly but surely uncovering the truth in therapy. The group, they're shocked about it. Heather's like, wait a minute, this happened to you? Whitney's like, yeah, this happened to me when I was a child, but I repressed all these terrible memories deep down inside, but I'm trying to dig them out through therapy. And she's also trying to break the cycle with her children. She doesn't want the same thing to happen to them. She's trying to give them a better life. And that's pretty admirable of Whitney to realize now, like, okay, wait a minute, maybe the Mormon church is going to have a negative effect on their lives. So let me remove myself and them from it so that way they can live a better life. Because nowadays, you know, it's hard to break a generational cycle because by the time you realize it, you already passed it down and it's too late. I mean, it's not too late, but it becomes harder to break that cycle. So she goes on to tell the group, you know, sometimes you really need to just heal and you really need to just break all these cycles and everything and kind of just become best friends with everybody and just let all the petty issues and petty drama go. You know, you just need to heal a little bit. And right now, I think it's a perfect time for me to reveal all of this to all of my friends because I need all of my friends in this very moment. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, this is the perfect time for you to reveal all this information, but at the same time, it's also very convenient for a storyline, but that's neither here nor there. So then Heather, you know, she's trying to be the producer and she's like, yeah, I think two people in this group could definitely resolve things right now, Lisa and Meredith. Meredith decides to be open with the group and she's like, well, I mean, I tried to be vulnerable with the group and look what happened when I was. I got slapped in the face with it. She's obviously talking about Lisa. So Lisa speaks up and she's like, hold on, Meredith, hold on, because I told you that I apologize for everything that I said about you. Oh, hold on. Can I get a Diet Coke with light ice and a Nacho Bel Grande and 2 hot sauce packets? Thank you, baby gorgeous. Thank you. I love it. Yeah, no, I love it. No, give it to me after the scene. Anyway, back to you, Meredith. Meredith, I told you that I'm sorry for everything that I said. I wish that I could go back and reword it differently. I wish I could choose my words differently than what I said. I said I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that, Meredith. Meredith, she's not having it. Meredith was just like, no. Hold on, Lisa. Let's run it back a little bit. Let's rewind a little bit. Meredith was just like, no, Lisa Barlow, we're not finishing here. You're my storyline this season. We need to continue this. So Meredith, she goes on to say, you have said a lot of venomous things about me and my family, and the hatred that came out of your mouth was just very too much for me to handle. And the lies that you spoke about me, Lisa, it's just there must be something more to this. So Lisa, in her confessional, the producer's asking her, so wait a minute, Lisa, you know, everything that you said about Meredith in that hot mic moment, was that all a lie? Lisa, without even thinking, she was like, no. I'm like, Lisa, yeah, just kiss that friendship between you and Meredith goodbye. Because obviously, I mean, even if you're not lying, why would you put that out there? Like, so she continues on by telling Meredith, I'm so sorry. I told you that I'm very, very sorry. And I told you this in LA. I told you in Los Angeles that I'm very sorry about this. Meredith, she was just like, no. Well, you told me at the reunion that you said all of this about me and my family because I supposedly spoke badly about your house and your renovations. And I completely forgot that that's the reason that Lisa used at the reunion when she whispered to Meredith, oh, you know, I'm sorry. You know, I just heard that, you know, you were supposedly speaking badly about about my house. And that's why I said everything about you. Like, Lisa, that does not make it okay. And Lisa's lying to Meredith. She was like, no, I never said that. And boom, they play the flashback. And yeah, you did say that. So I wish that Lisa could just own up to it and just say, you know what? Yeah, I was a shitty person. I was a shitty friend. Oh, well, let's move on from it. And that's that. But Meredith, she's not having it. So Meredith, she's laying it into her. And she's like, look, Lisa, hold on. You know, because this is not the first time that I heard you say some really despicable things about me and my family. I heard some very awful things that you said about me before she even finished the sentence. Lisa was just like, no, I never said anything about you. Meredith, she got pissed off and she's like, can you just let me finish? You're an interrupter. You interrupt me a lot. Let me finish talking, okay? Let me finish talking. And Meredith, she has that scary ass look because she's looking into Lisa's eyes, but she's like looking into her soul. So she was like, let me continue. So yeah, this is not the first time that you have said something about me. I have heard that, you know, there's a couple of more things that you said about me and my family, and I'm not sure if there's other things that you're projecting onto me. Lisa, again, interrupted her. She was like, no, there's nothing. I'm like, Lisa, let the woman talk. But Meredith, she was just like, again, you're not letting me talk, Lisa. I told you to stop interrupting me. What part of that don't you get? Lisa's like, no, but the thing is, you're speaking on lies. I'm not believing that. I'm not going along with the story that you're trying to paint out. So that's why I'm trying to interrupt you. Like, it's not happening. Heather, she's rolling her eyes. She was just like, damn, I'm such a good producer. So Meredith continues on and she tells her, look, Lisa, if you're not willing to get the help that you need for your behavior, then there's nothing else that I can do for you. There's nothing else between us. But if you are willing to get the help, then maybe I could be there in your corner. So Lisa, she was just like, wait, what kind of help? What are you talking? Huh? There's no Nacho Grande? Okay, give me like a cheesy steak gordita. Give me anything on the menu. Thank you, baby gorgeous. Mwah, I love that. No, I love that. So wait, Meredith, what kind of help? What are you talking about? Meredith, she was just like, well, I mean, I don't know what kind of help you need. I'm not a doctor. I can't really tell you that. Why did she even say that? Because Heather, she felt offended. Lisa, she felt offended. Heather, she was kind of instigating in the background. If you listen to her closely, she was just drinking her wine and she was like, what? Meredith, no. You're talking about her mental health? Stop. That is too much. You're taking it too far. Lisa, did you hear that? Wow. What are you going to do about that? Throw that drink. Throw that drink. Wow. Like she just talked about you so badly. I'm like, Heather, hush up. It's already bad enough between them. Trying to stir the pot. So Lisa, she was just like, no, you will not talk about my mental health stability like that. You're talking about my mental health and I don't like that. Please don't do that right now. Meredith, she was just like, no, I'm not talking about your mental health. I never said that. All I'm saying is that I'm not a doctor and I can't really tell you what to do. Whitney, she finally stepped in and she was like, Lisa, you just have to be honest with your feelings. Like, I was watching one of my favorite episodes of the Powerpuff Girls, and they told me that you just have to be really honest with yourself. That way you'll get superpowers, and maybe you'll get superpowers if you just tell Meredith how you feel. Like, you just need to tell her about your feelings, and everything will be, good, and we could all heal from this. So Lisa, she was just like, look, Meredith, the thing is, I already apologized to you over and over and over again about this whole situation, and then she puts her foot in her mouth because she said something that she said last week, and I didn't say that in last week's review on purpose because I felt like it was triggering, but then she says it again this time, and again, trigger warning, because what Lisa says, it was just kind of like, like I get what she was trying to say, but she could have used a different analogy. She goes on to say, I'm not going to slit my wrist for you over and over again. And I'm like, again, I cringed when she said it last week and I had to actually pause and I'm like, did she really say that in last week's episode? And again, she repeated it here. Everybody got quiet. Meredith, she was just like, is she serious right now? Is she serious? And Lisa's just looking around like so confused. So Jen, she whispers over and she's like, yeah, Meredith, Meredith, she just had somebody in her family die because of suicide and you using that analogy, again, terrible. So Lisa was just like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. And then Meredith was just like, oh, of course, now you don't know anything. So again, both of them were just kind of hurting each other's feelings without really doing it on purpose. And I'm like, well, again, this is just terrible. Again, she could have used a different analogy. And when she said, oh, I'm sorry for using that analogy, I just kept thinking back to Jackie and Teresa from the Housewives of Jersey and that whole situation. I'm like, ugh. I'm still not over that. So Whitney in her confessional, she was just like, well, Lisa, I just feel like sometimes she says things, but I don't really think that she's trying to be mean about it or anything. I just feel like she says things and that's just Lisa Barlow. And I'm like, yeah, I understand everybody expresses themselves differently, but damn, Lisa, did you have to use it that specific? But whatever. Eventually, here comes Convict 690256. Jen Shah, she decides to speak up. And I don't get why, with everything going on in her life, she decides to pull focus on herself. It's like she wants them to be like, okay, is nobody going to talk about me and my legal issues right now? Like, nobody's going to accuse me of being guilty? Like, nobody's going to treat me like Erica Jane? Like, hello, I'm right here. It's like she wants to be a target on purpose for some reason instead of laying low and going underneath the radar and just letting the drama be on somebody else. But no, she makes it about herself and she's like, just with everything going on in my life right now, me being guilty, innocent, I really just want to say that this is all just a bunch of petty BS and we just need to let it go. Everything going on in my life right now, I really realized that it's really all about me and my family and my support and everything. And I'm like, okay, are you done? Again, I just don't understand why she decided to pull focus on her. Meredith was just like, well, you know what, Lisa? Okay, fine. I'll accept your apology for now, but we have a very long way to go. Maybe by season 4, maybe by season 5, I'll forgive you and we could be friends again for now. So then Whitney, she was just like, yay, we could all be besties again. Let's go inside and bake cookies and cupcakes and cakes. Oh, let's make a strawberry cake. I'm so glad. Should we burn something? I'm like, no, Whitney, let's not burn anything. We already burned enough bridges in this group. The next morning, we see Jen walking around the house with a megaphone and she's screaming into it, "Where's the hose at? Where's the hose at? Everybody wake up." First of all, Jen, you would have received the Kenya Moore special by screaming into that megaphone so early in the morning while I'm trying to sleep, asking about, "Where's the hose at? Where's the hose at? I'm right here, but let me sleep." So she goes into Heather's room, she wakes her up, she's telling her about the plans that she has ready for the group today, which is they're gonna be bike pedaling on this machine that lets you bike pedal and drink alcohol at the same time. So Heather, she gets up, Whitney, she's in the bathtub blowing bubbles, watching the latest episode of Kim Possible. Lisa, she's on the phone with John and she's telling him about the plans that she has ready for the group later on, which is horseback riding. So Heather, she gets up and she goes over to Meredith. Meredith, she's in the chair already getting her glam done. Heather, she has a problem with that and she's like, I don't get why she's getting her glam done. Who is she here to impress in Arizona? The cactus, the open road, the open space? Who is she here to impress in Arizona? And I'm like, Heather, it's not always about impressing other people. Maybe Meredith just wants to feel good about herself and get her glam done for herself, not necessarily to impress other people. And who knows, maybe Meredith just wants to find a man here in Arizona. You know, don't let your marriage or your relationship stop you from finding the true love of your life. So Meredith, she's there. Heather, she has a bone to pick with her. She's upset with her. And she's like, Meredith, I just don't really like how you're going about this whole situation with Lisa. It seems very condescending. You seem like a very super bitch all of a sudden. And I'm like, why is that? So Meredith, she's confused and she's like, wait a minute. Why do you think that I'm being condescending to Lisa? Lisa was being a bad friend to me and she talked very badly and negatively about me and my family. So why am I being condescending all of a sudden? Heather, she goes on to say, it's just, you by telling Lisa, oh, you need to get help for your behavior. You need this, that, and the third. It just seems like you're being a little bit more superior to her. And I'm like, Heather, again, just because you have a track record of letting people walk all over you and you being doormats in your friendships, specifically with Jen Shah, let's remember what she said about you last season. She called you Shrek, I believe, and you were okay with that, and you still kissed her ass. Just because you're okay with that in your friendships does not mean that other people can have higher standards in their friendships. Because again, what Lisa said about Meredith, whether she was upset or in a rage or in a blind rage, whatever, it was still hurtful and it was still too much. So again, it's okay if Meredith is being a little condescending or if she's being a little bitchy, because again, something like that is a little bit too not so forgivable. So Meredith, she's like, well, I understand what you're saying, Heather, but I am not being condescending. I'm just telling Lisa Barlow how she needs to treat me in a friendship moving forward if she wants to have a future with me and her. That's all I'm saying. And if I remember correctly, I believe that the issue between Lisa and Meredith started because Lisa was jealous of Meredith's friendship with Mary. She felt that she was being held at a higher standard than Mary. Every time that Lisa said or did something wrong, Meredith would call her out right then and there. But if Mary did the same thing, Meredith would just look away and never say anything to Mary. So I wish that Lisa will also bring that up to the table. Like, look, I said this and this and this. And yeah, it may not be forgivable, but I said it because, look, you were treating me like this. And I feel like I was kind of being left in the back. And I thought that me and you were closer. But then I saw you were being closer to Mary. And I got a little jealous. So I just wish that she was a little bit more open with that as well. Maybe Meredith will be a little bit more open. Maybe not. So everyone gets picked up in a Sprinter van, and you know how I feel about this cast specifically being on a Sprinter van. The second that I see it, I get nervous. I'm like, what's about to happen? All of a sudden, we find out that they got a new driver by the name of Zach. And I'm like, who is Zach? No. Give us Kevin. We want Kevin from last season, the one that was there to experience it all, where Lisa was in the back calling all 6 of her lawyers saying, oh my God, I'm physically shaking. I'm physically shaking. Or when Jen almost came blow to blow with Lisa in the backseat of the Sprinter van. We want that Kevin. Who is Zach? Absolutely not. But regardless, they get driven to the activity. There's a guy there already on the bike machine, ready for all of them to hop on. He has a captain hat. I believe his name is Kevin, but not the Kevin that we want from last season. They all get on it, and I believe that this is one of the funnest scenes of the Housewives that I've seen in a while. They all had so much fun on this activity, and it didn't even take, more than 5 seconds for them to get wild. Specifically, Whitney. I'm like, Whitney, damn, she turned in her resignation letter for the Mormon church, and she was like, okay, time for the stripper pole. They all got up. They were drinking. I'm not sure if it was alcohol, but they were all drinking so many drinks. Whitney got up. She was sliding down on the pole. She was upside down. They were throwing drinks all over the place. And I'm like, I hope that this came included with the package. Because who's cleaning this up? All of a sudden, Whitney, she's upside down on the machine, right? Like she's holding herself upside down and she has a skirt on. All of a sudden, Jen, she gets up and she gets a drink. She pours it down, her private parts. And I'm like, what's going on here? What in the sticky mess? What is going on? Whitney took a good shower after this activity. But they were all having a good time. And then Lisa and Meredith, that's where it got a little bit like, okay, let's stop now before things get violent, because they started throwing drinks. Meredith, I liked seeing her have fun too, because Meredith, usually she's a little bit more, like calm and everything. But no, she got wild with the rest of the group. She grabbed a drink. She was like... And she started throwing it around all over Lisa. Lisa, she noticed and she picked up her drink and she was like, fucking bitch, fucking whore, you fucked half of New York. And Meredith, she started throwing it back at her and she was like, oh, Lisa, here's a fucking drink. Look at that. Nobody, you fuck everybody for your Vida tequila. I'm like, okay, let's stop now. Let's stop, because both of you are just one drink throw away from actually hitting each other. I know Kevin, the bike driver, I know he was probably in the front like, okay, everybody calm it down a little bit. Your friend did not pay for cleaning. Wait a minute. Didn't I see you somewhere recently? Isn't your name Jennifer Shaw? You're the one that pled guilty recently, right? Oh my God, can I get a picture after we park? They all head back home where Lisa surprises them with their next activity, which is horseback riding, taught from a group of women who perform for the luxury brand Dior in these beautiful dresses. Lisa, she goes on to brag about her boots, and she's like, oh my God, don't you love my boots? Don't you love my boots? They're gaucho boots. Don't you love them? Heather, don't you love them? They're gaucho boots. Meredith, don't you love my boots? You're jealous of them, right? They're gaucho boots. Jen, they're from the 2007 collection. I'm like, Lisa, you made up this whole activity just to talk about your boots. On top of that, Lisa has all these dresses similar to the women that are on the horses. She has a bunch of dresses lined up for them and they change into them. And as I see them changing into the dresses, I'm like, wait a minute, did they even take a shower? I could have swore that they were just throwing drinks on each other just a second ago on the bike activity, and now they're just switching over into these nice pretty dresses. Like, absolutely not. I could have swore that Whitney was just upside down with Jen having a drink thrown down her kitty cat, and here we are just switching over to dresses. Like, on top of that, she's about to straddle the horse, and the horse is going to be walking around with a sticky kitty cat on its back. Like, no. So the women on the horses put on a show for them and they ask them if they want to turn on the horses. But before that, of course, they have to be messy before any activity. So Heather, she takes Lisa to the side and she's like, look, as executive producer along with Whitney on the show, I actually talked to Meredith about you and her situation. And I told her that she was being a little condescending in the situation. But she said, no, she doesn't see what I'm talking about. Lisa's like, I just don't understand why I'm being held to a higher standard. She's literally nailing me to a cross. I don't understand what more can I do. I keep apologizing over and over and over. And she's not accepting it. So what else can I do to Meredith? I mean, she's literally doing the same thing as Jen and she forgave her. I don't understand why she can't forgive me. And I mean, I understand what Lisa is saying. At the same time, Lisa, your situation with Jen is the whole different situation because Meredith, yeah, she could hold the grudge for a good long period of time. She did it with Jen last season. And look, she didn't get over it until the first episode of this season. So that goes to show you that maybe, give or take, season 7, season 8, maybe then she'll forgive you. But again, Meredith is not the type to just let things go so easily. And look, that was because Jen liked the tweet from Brooks calling him a sissy bitch. I'm not going to say that's the only thing that she did, but look what you did. You called her this, that, and the third, and you accused her of doing all of this and that and the third, and you just expect her to be okay with that? No, if she wasn't okay with Jen liking a simple tweet, well, I'm not going to say it was a simple tweet, but an insult to her son, you think that she's going to be okay with you calling out her family and her husband and his job in the house? No, it's not going to be that easy, Lisa. It's really not, especially with everything that you said, and especially being how close you were before all of this. It's not going to be that simple for her to just forgive you like that. Meanwhile, Whitney on the other side, she's talking to Jen and Meredith, and she's planting the seeds to the explosion that's going to happen later on in the episode. And she's just very sloppy with it. Like, she's trying to be the producer of the show, but she's just all over the place because she goes on to say, well, I just feel like Meredith, I just feel like you're holding Lisa to a higher standard and you're holding her to a cross, and it's not really nice because I want all of us to be besties so we could go around and play games and everything and play tag and stuff and watch Netflix shows. You know, there's so many new movies that I want to watch, and you're being really mean and condescending. On top of that, you're the one that started by putting all these rumors about Lisa and all these sexual favors that she's done on people for her Vida tequila. And I'm like, wait a minute. So now we're rewriting history, Whitney? Like, since when did Meredith open up her mouth about anything about that? Yes, Meredith was the one who initiated the conversation with you and even Jen about, oh, you know, I heard some rumors, but that was it. She never implied that she heard anything past a rumor. You're the one that was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to run with this. And let me tell you what I heard. I heard that she was doing this, and this with for the Vida tequila. That came out of your mouth. So now all of a sudden you're putting it on Meredith? Like, Again, are we rewriting history? Did you forget that you're filming a show, that this is on footage? Like, Whitney cannot be that delusional. But then again, maybe she can. I was just very shocked. So then Meredith, she tells her, no, Whitney. It was you who came up to me telling me that Lisa was doing sexual favors for her Vita Tequila. That was you. I never said anything. I just said that I heard some rumors. You're the one that gave me all this other information that I never asked about. That came out of your mouth, Whitney. But again, in Whitney's eyes, it was all on Meredith. And I'm like, wow. But again, we'll see the explosion about this mess later on in the episode. So eventually they get on the horses, with their sticky kitty and all, specifically you, Whitney. Lisa, she's annoying the hell out of the woman who's holding the horse down for her. Lisa's just on top of the horse while the lady's next to her. And she's like, oh my God, I love it. I love the horse. I love the hair. Do you love this job? Do you want to come up here? Do you want to take a picture? Do you want to take a selfie? What's your Instagram? Do you like Taco Bell? I love this. She was so annoying. The lady was just like, oh my God, you know what? In 2 seconds, I'm about to let this horse loose. So it's finally time for this garbage trash whore lingerie party, as Jen likes to call it, right? Everybody's getting all ready. Whitney has her producer hat on. She has her producer uniform on. She has her producer shoes on. She has her producer everything on, or at least she thinks that she does. So she's talking to Heather and she's like, well, I just really want everybody to be honest with each other. And I just want everything to be out there. I don't like to hold things in. And now she's using her trauma as a way to be messy, because she was like, well, I'm trying to get everything out of my life, all this trauma out, and I don't want to hold anything in, and I don't want any of us to hold anything in either. So I want all of it to be out on the table. And I'm like, don't try to compare both situations, Whitney, because you're just trying to be messy. And just like Meredith said last week, you were talking about, oh, this whole trip is for Jen. This is going to be for Jen. We're here for Jen. But no, you're trying to be messy, and you're trying to cause up trouble between Meredith and Lisa. On top of that, you're trying to, narrate your own story, and you're trying to paint out this whole picture that it doesn't exist. So she goes out to Jen. They're all in their lingerie. I love everybody's lingerie, by the way. I really like Meredith's outfit. I'm like her plastic pants or latex pants with her corset and her little New York shady hat. Of course, they keep flashing back to that damn scene of Lisa and her rant saying, oh, she fucked half of New York. I'm like, we get it, producers. We get it. Like, it's only been the 3rd episode, and I think that we've seen that scene like 100 times already. They're all in the kitchen. I love Heather's outfit as well. Whitney has nice boobs. I like her boobs. She looks really good. Jen, she comes out, and I'm like, wow, Jen, she really went all out for this outfit. I love her outfit. Her corset was corsetting. And then we get Lisa. I'm like, well, if she's comfortable in those pajamas, then it is what it is. She was just like, well, I feel sexy. I'm like, okay, grandma. So they're all cooking and everything. Whitney, again, she's like, okay, this scene isn't moving fast enough. So she gets to Jen and she's like, Jen, can we go outside? Because you're the only one I trust. Again, I'm not sure how many drinks Whitney has already had in this scene specifically, because I noticed that last season on the last cast trip, Whitney, she gets a little loosey-goosey and she gets all wild and everything and out of control, and she gets in people's faces the second that she gets alcohol in her system. Now I'm like, okay, obviously you're trying to poke somebody's button by saying that. So her and Jen, they walk out. We see Lisa, Heather, and Meredith, they're cooking and everything. Lisa, she pulls the door and she was just like, oh my God, we're gonna so cook everything here. Like, everything is so chic. And I'm like, oh no, not the word chic. Meanwhile, outside, Whitney is complaining to Jen, and she was just like, I just don't really like how Meredith is not owning up to her being the one that said all of these rumors about Lisa sleeping with everybody for her Vita Tequila. Like, you heard it too, right? Jenna was just like, yeah, me and Meredith had the conversation. And again, Jen is looking at her like, what the fuck is she talking about? So Meredith, she comes on over, and Whitney, she gets mad at her, and she's like, I'm just tired of being the Nancy Drew of this entire group. I want everybody to be honest, and I want you to say it. And again, Whitney was just being a complete sloppy producer. And I thought Kyle Richards was bad, but Whitney, she takes the cake for being the worst producer, because she wants Meredith to say it or whatever. And Meredith was just like, I'm not gonna say anything because I didn't say anything. I was the one that initiated the conversation with Jen. That I heard some rumors, but it was Jen who said something about the cheating rumors. Same thing for you, Whitney. You're the one that speculated about all these sexual favors that Lisa was doing. I never said a thing about that. And again, it's on footage. It's right there, Whitney. So it's just like, I don't get what Whitney was just trying to cause a huge fight. And it was just so desperate of her to do. Like, she looked so thirsty. And I'm like, Whitney, you really don't have to do much to set something off between them. But okay, so she's walking off. She has a whole attitude because, again, she's not getting the reaction that she wants. So she's like, I'm just sick and tired of everybody not being real about everything. We're all supposed to be real, and we're all supposed to put it on the line, on the table and everything. You know what? Forget it. So she walks back inside, her and her titties. They go back inside. Lisa, Heather, they're looking at her like, what's going on? They're just sitting down, like eating and everything. Lisa, again, she's in a good mood. And I felt bad for her because they aimed at her. Well, Whitney aimed at her for no reason. Whitney's sitting down, again, with that drink in her hand. Lisa's looking at her like, what's wrong, Whitney? What's wrong? What's the problem? What happened? So Jen and Meredith, they also walk inside. They're all sitting down. Heather's confused. Whitney, she goes on her drunk rant and she's like, well, so Lisa, we just need to put it out there. We need to be real, and I'm gonna be the one to say it since nobody else wants to be real and nobody else wants to be honest. But me and Meredith, we had a conversation, and she told me a bunch of rumors about you and all these affairs, and that you did a couple of sexual favors. And then they bleeped out the name of who she supposedly slept with. Lisa was caught off guard, and Lisa was like, "Oh wow, retaliation. Now you're retaliating with me and John. Me and John are perfect. Me and John are good. Our family's good. We're good. So I don't know what you're talking about, Meredith." And again, Meredith is just sitting there with her New York hat like, I didn't say anything. It was all Whitney. And I actually like that Meredith stood quiet and calm because she made Whitney seem even more stupid because Whitney continued on and on and on. And then eventually Meredith had to break her silence. And she was just like, no, Whitney, that was on you. I heard all of these rumors and all of these sexual rumors from Lisa and her marriage from you. This came out of your mouth. So then Heather, she was just like, wait, what? What happened? This came from your mouth? Whitney, again, she's getting all crazy and out of control. And she was like, no. You said that. You said that she did that and all this and all that and her rumors and everything. And I need a diaper change. I'm like, Whitney, you are spiraling out of control for what? Again, I know that Whitney was just pissed that they were not following her instructions. Like, she thought that it was going to go one way, but it wasn't moving her way. So she was just like, well, I have to put myself in the line of fire. And on top of that, she wants this to be all peaceful and all this and all that. But no, even Heather called it out in the confessional. Like, you're just trying to cause a problem instead of being peaceful and having a good time like we were supposed to. But then again, it's Housewives. So I guess I don't mind the train wreck. Jen will never learn. She tries to make this about herself in the confessional. She was like, I'm over here fighting for my life. And they're fighting over what? Jazz tickets over petty bullshit? And I'm like, Jen, please stop mentioning that. The fact that their drama could overshadow your legal cases, that is a huge thing. It's a big thing, and you still choose not to. Like, you choose still not to be underneath the radar. You want the attention focused on you, and that's not even half of it. So eventually, I think there's more rumors to it, and then we involve Angie H, Sarah Paulson from last season, that her, Lisa, and Whitney, they were at like some Courtside Jazz tickets, and supposedly Lisa was sucking dick for Courtside tickets of that. And I'm like, for Jazz tickets? Like, at least security could get you backstage. But on a jazz concert, and Heather, I never really saw it for Heather until her confessionals this episode. And I think that she kind of won me over a little bit because she was just like, you don't really have to give a blowjob. You don't have to, do all of that for Courtside Jazz tickets. Maybe for a Laker show or a Laker game, yes. But for Jazz tickets, you don't have to do that. You don't have to get on your knees. Heather had me laughing from this moment on. She had me laughing. And Heather is really good in the confessional. So Lisa, she's spiraling out of control. She's telling Meredith, you know what? No, I'm not going to do this. I feel so attacked right now. I can't do this anymore. No. Are you kidding me? No, I'm done with this. I'm done. I need to call John. I can't. So she gets up and oh my goodness, the other hilarious thing, she runs away. And I'm not sure what kind of dramatic ass run she was going for, but she was like, I'm leaving. I can't do this anymore. I can't, Meredith. I can't. Like, wow, I'm not going to beg you for your friendship. Goodbye. I'm like, the dramatic ass run, and they're all looking at her like, what the hell is she doing? Her hair is just all running through the wind. So as Lisa is running away, she's screaming, all I have is my family. All I have is my family. That's all I have. That's all I can trust. Jen, for some reason, she takes it upon herself to make it about herself, and she starts crying and sobbing out of nowhere. And I'm like, do we get a deleted scene or something explaining why she starts crying out of nowhere? Jen is just like, she says that she has, the only thing that she has is her family. Well, what about me? All I have is my family because they're taking everything from me. They took everything. And I'm like, this is crazy. The Salt Lake City cast is one of the most chaotic, toxic casts out of the whole entire franchise of Housewives. Because Jen, what is your problem? I don't understand. Again, just like I've been saying this entire review, instead of you laying low and going underneath the radar, no, you want to pull focus on yourself and just be like, hey, by the way, I did a lot of criminal activities. It's almost like she wants to get handcuffed on camera. I'm not understanding. Maybe she gets off to that, but I'm not understanding, Jen. She's crying. Meredith and her New York cat, she's trying to, console her or whatever. She's confused. Everybody's confused. I'm confused. Andy's confused. Kathy Hilton is confused. I was just so confused at what was going on. Lisa, she's in her room, so Meredith is just like, hold on, I'm gonna go to her room and I'm gonna go see if she could come back. So she goes over to Lisa's room. She's like, Lisa, hello, are you in there? So she opens up the room. Lisa's like, no, get away from me. No, you're not my friend. Out. No, get out. Meredith is just like, wait a minute. I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you for a good second, Lisa. I just want to talk to you for a second. Sit down right here and I'm going to tell you that I did not say anything about your marriage. I just said I heard some rumors. I never said that you were sleeping with anybody for your Vita tequila or that you were sucking dick for Jazz Courtside tickets. I never said that. Lisa was just like, yeah, but no. I'm just not doing this. It's always a pile on. Every time we go everywhere, it's always a pile on with me. And that's something I wish that Lisa, I think that's the one thing that she really needs is like, if everybody's coming at her or aiming at her, she really needs to learn how to like, not take it, but like kind of like defend herself. Instead, she always cries, but eventually she comes back after Meredith told her, go into your room and, I'll give you 4 minutes. She was like, I don't know why I said 4 minutes, but it's okay. So she comes back over. Whitney, again, she's in a drunken state of mind, I think, because she's opening another bottle of liquor or wine or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, Whitney, you need to relax because, again, you're doing all of this with alcohol in your system, but can you do it soberly? So Whitney, she's all being a sloppy mess or whatever, and she's telling Meredith, you were the one. You told me about her sleeping with everybody and, doing this and doing that. Heather, she became the voice of reasoning all of a sudden, and she was like, okay, so what if Lisa's a whore? So what if she sucks dick for her Vita tequila? So what? Who cares? And then her confessional, ooh, Heather, I'm telling you, Heather gained 10 points this whole episode alone with her confessionals. She goes on to say, it doesn't matter. Who cares if she was sucking dick for so-and-so and so? I suck dick for a cheeseburger. I'm like, mood. Meredith, she's trying to tell Lisa, look, Lisa, I never said anything about this. It was all Whitney who told me about this. And yes, I was wrong for engaging in conversation about, these rumors about you and your marriage. I was wrong for that. And for that, I apologize. But I never said anything further than that. Whitney, instead, she sees that she's not working with Meredith, that whole situation is not playing out in her favor. So she aims at her cousin, Heather. And she was like, Heather, you were there when me, and what's her name? Angie, Sarah Paulson, we were at the Courtside and stuff, and she was there, and she told you, remember she told us that Lisa slept with this person for tickets, and then Heather was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I never heard of that. And I believe Heather. Whitney, again, you're not in the right state of mind I don't know what you're talking about. Whitney's just like, what do you mean you don't hear it? What do you mean you were there? You're a liar, Heather. You're a fucking liar. You're a fucking liar, Camille. So Heather, that's all she had to do, to get up. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. She was like, you're going to call me a liar? I'm a liar? Now I'm a liar? Fuck you. So she gets up. Meredith and her New York cat. She walks away. Lisa's walking away. Jen, she's still crying. She's looking at the whole situation. I'm looking at the whole situation. It's just becoming a hot mess. And again, Heather's just screaming at Whitney. She's like, how dare you call me a liar? I never said that. And I never heard of those rumors. You're making all of this up. And again, everybody's constantly coming at Whitney, rightfully so, because Whitney just created this entire chaotic mess for no reason. I mean, for a show, but for no reason. So Heather, she walks away. She is pissed off. Eventually, Heather was just like, fuck you. And I'm like, wow, Whitney, now I see why you get tossed like a potato next episode. Because you created all this chaotic mess for no reason besides the show. But I mean, Again, at least do it properly, or try to play puppet master a little bit better. But no, you were just very sloppy with it, all over the place. And again, this does not surprise me because she did it on the last cast trip last season as well with Mary and Meredith, how she constantly kept going up to their faces. I'm surprised nobody has pushed her to the ground yet, because the way she's all over the place sometimes, it's just like, Whitney, you can only do so much. But that was that. I mean, Salt Lake City, it only took 3 episodes for them to get chaotic. Last season, it took until like the 10th episode, until the whole, Sprinter van ride and Jen getting arrested, for it to all spiral out of control. Here, 3 episodes into the season already, and it's just all over the place. It's chaos. Let me know what you all thought about this episode down in the comments. Bye, everybody. Mwah. Sucking dick for a cheeseburger. Would y'all do that? Bye. Mwah.